What's up, everybody? Nick Powell's publisher of 1851franchise.com. Today's Meet the Zor is with Verlo Mattress. Coming up next. All right, Bobby, this is a fun one. And I know your story is going to be good because I kind of know what your story is. But how did you accidentally fall into franchising? Let's start with you and then we'll get to the brand.
Sure. Yeah, that's a great question. So the brand I work for, I've been with for 23 years. I've worked for both the franchisee and the franchisor. And when I was working for the franchisor, they said, you know, we're doing franchise development and we're really struggling to get franchising to understand Verlo Mattress. Maybe we can get Verlo Mattress to go out there and learn franchising. So I ended up moving into a fran dev position in the beginning of 2019 and spent that whole year really researching franchising, joining IFA and, getting my CFE and sort of getting my head wrapped around what we were doing right and what we were doing wrong. So technically I've been in franchising for 23 years, but really only active for the past few.
I'm going to set up a statement. I want your feedback on it, but just for clarity, majority of your deals are coming through broker network right now, or what is the mix of organic versus broker?
Yeah, they're all coming through brokers, 100%.
Okay. So this sets, I'm setting you up for my question, but listen to what you just said. You're in Verlo, you've been there forever. You obviously have passion and loyalty for the brand. And the brand says, we're not selling franchises. So Bobby, Verlo is going to learn franchising, and then we're going to re-engineer this thing. And what I love about that statement, and I found this really fascinating, primarily over the last 2 months, like I'll latch onto something that really, really catches my attention. Right now, if I look on your website, which is on the screen, #1 consumer direct mattress franchise, right? Yet no franchise brand is listening to the insight, Bobby, that you just said that says, wow, maybe we should educate our franchise buyers what franchising is before we start talking about the opportunity. And I think clearly the advantage of a broker community is you have individuals out there that say, hey, we're going to educate you what franchising is, and then we're going to match you to a franchise. Because if you and I go back to the day before we even get into franchising, we don't know what it is. And so every franchisor is almost skipping over this step. And it's this aha moment of what would it look like if we said, well, wait a second, let's educate you on how franchising works, and then we'll talk about our opportunity. How does that resonate with you?
Yeah, it's 100%, and not just externally, internally. One of the first things I did when I came back from sort of being out in the woods by myself, the woods of franchising, right, is I said, we got to get the entire leadership team here at Verlo needs to get their CFE. We all need to be speaking the same language and pushing, in the same direction and understand why that is the right direction. And then once that happened, it changed the way that we spoke to everybody externally, which is, we're not in the mattress business. We're in the franchising business, right? And the mattress is the widget. Now, albeit we're really good at the widget, but at the end of the day, we're all in franchising, and understanding that changes the tone of how we speak to other people as well as ourselves. And it really makes a big difference in how we align our goals.
Yeah. When I look at your business opportunity, what also interests me, and I'm going to quote you that has stuck in my head for a long time since we talked a while back. But I think about an ice cream brand or a pizza brand that doesn't have a ton of point of differentiation, and their sales process goes, look how much you can make, envision opening up this in your market, and then you go to work. And the reality is margins in food are usually not overly strong from a net profitability standpoint. I remember you said, look, I have an unfair advantage. We fly the candidates in, they sleep on our mattress, they eat at our restaurant. It's well, wait a second, you guys have positioned tremendous business. And so if I'm looking through your website and I get down to there's in the Q&A or something, it says how's our support, right? So what kind of support should I expect? I'm we're going to be here the entire totality of your Verlo career. And it's yeah, because you've already set up the tools. So it's almost like you guys have the perfect franchise opportunity that to the outside organic world, they just don't understand it. But you have all these great things that make you a great franchisor, including the fact that you just said, hey, leadership team, before we go start talking about our brand, let's all go get our CFE so we're all swimming in the same direction.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Very few. I used to say none, but now I say very few little boys or girls grew up dreaming about owning a mattress franchise. I mean, how exciting is that, huh? I no longer say not everyone, because some of our franchisees are multi-generational that literally grew up in the business. But having a real differentiator is something that allows us to really set ourselves apart in the industry. We offer a lifetime comfort guarantee to every single customer that buys a Verlo mattress. And what that means is anytime they're sleeping on the mattress, we can come out to their home and adjust the comfort of their mattress right there in their home. So they never have to compromise. There's so many stories of people who spend thousands of dollars on a mattress, and after 3 to 5 years, they're not happy with it anymore. And there's nothing defective about it, but it just doesn't feel the way that they want it to, or maybe their body's changed. And the answer everywhere else, for the most part, is, well, then buy a new mattress. Where what we do is we can actually repersonalize that mattress to the individual, which is very counter to what they experience everywhere else. And so it really allows us to set ourselves apart. And the reason we're able to do that is every single one of our franchisees make every mattress they sell right there locally in their community. So it's a local product by locals for locals, which through the pandemic really leaned in to our advantage. Again, very unfairly, because not only do we have the differentiator, but now we also have the advantages of the way that our supply chain works, so different than anybody else's in our industry.
I would imagine your closure rate when you get a candidate in is quite high. Is that accurate?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so here's the deal: is the average person only shops at a couple of places. Mattresses, nobody comes into a mattress store because they want to buy a mattress. They come into the mattress store because they're trying to solve a problem. Maybe their hips hurt, their shoulder hurt. They want a bigger mattress. They're moving and they need split foundations. There's a million reasons why they come in to buy a mattress, but they're all to solve problems. And so when they come into our store, we use a very education-based sales process to help them understand what it is they're looking for. And then they'll go somewhere else and they'll have a very different experience. And they come out of that store and they look at each other and they say, let's just go back to Verlo and get this done. Or maybe they start somewhere else and what they see costs a lot more than they're expecting. They come into Verlo and they're like, oh my gosh, I can get it for half the price at the top end. They go, let's be done shopping. Because it's about as exciting as buying a pair of tires or a hot water heater. It's not something you want to do, but it's something you need to do, and it's going to have a big impact on your life. So often the customer just wants to get the purchase over with. So we definitely have a very high close ratio.
I would imagine that the same philosophies you talk about tweaking the opportunity. You talk about a franchise candidate can come in and maybe leave and shop another brand and see the difference. I would imagine the buyer experience on the franchisee side is very much similar to the consumer side. Is that accurate?
Yeah, absolutely. Because the first thing we get is mattresses. There's just the market looks saturated. I'm not really interested in looking at mattresses. But when you look at it, almost every store is selling the same products. They might have different names, but there's not a big differentiation there. And so the other thing that they have is the education on the product, and the customer experience in a lot of brands is poor. And so by us just doing a good job, not even a great job, just doing a good job, we really stand apart. And then you add those extra components of the service that we're able to offer because of the factory, or the level of personalization because we can make the adjustments in the home. And it really sets us apart for the franchisor. They, even not having a big education on mattresses, because candidly, a lot of people don't have a big education on mattresses, but even without a big education, they can look at it and say, gosh, this is really a differentiated product in this industry. And by the way, it's a product that everybody uses.
Okay, so help me understand. We started with talking about how the broker network accounts for all of your deals. I would be banging my head on the table because this should be a business that should drive organic growth. You have a great consumer product, so consumers are seeing it. Buying a mattress still will attract a high-end user because you are a higher-end mattress. And everything that you've conditioned from a business opportunity standpoint should mean organic should be crushing it. Why do you not have organic deals?
So that's a good question. We initially started out with looking for our own organic deals, and what we found is there was an awful lot of work for a limited return for a few reasons. Number one, if you go to most major cities in America, they don't know Verlo Mattress. And so because they don't know Verlo Mattress, they hear about the value proposition, and it sounds like everybody else that's trying to grow their franchise. We're the best, the other guys not so much. And so differentiating ourselves in that way, we weren't as successful as we would have liked to be. And then we got connected with our FSO, who is an amazing group of people. And it's just like, I think our brand has an unfair advantage working with people who have been in the industry for so long and have these relationships, magnifies or multiplies that unfair advantage.
Yeah, again, from where I stand, and I spend all day, every day evaluating franchise brands. It's probably an awareness gap more than anything, but yours stacks up with the best in class franchises, in from what I can see as a researcher. And so at some point, like the broker community is fantastic, because what they're capturing is someone comes to the table, says, all right, I've thought about franchising. Here's how much money I have. Show me what aligns with my investment. And they're more like they're open shoppers. They don't have they don't have a pathway. The buyer isn't like, I have to buy this brand typically in the broker network. So it totally makes sense to have that mix. But on the other side, you are such a beautiful business. And if you line the financials, which is going to be a part of this sales process, you are great. So I would love to see that turn to at least 50-50 in the coming years, because you've put in so much work. When you open, out of curiosity, you open up a store in a new market, do you have to do a lot of work to get the engine going? Or is it just like, do people buy based on proximity to the mattress that's closest to their house?
Sure. So some of that, absolutely. What we'll often do is we'll open up near whoever the biggest players in the market are, for a couple of reasons. One, we believe that our value proposition is greater than anybody else's, so we're happy to go head to head with whoever the biggest player in any particular market is. But also, that brand has already been driving traffic and interest in mattresses to that area. It's the same reason that you see car dealerships grouped up together. You're going to find furniture stores grouped up together, mattress stores, because people want to go where it's going to be convenient to cross shop. And so we definitely take advantage of that. We also have a pretty another unfair advantage, right? So our VP of marketing, Ira Klusendorf, he was an investigative journalist. He's a 5-time Emmy winner. This guy's a monster. And so when he goes in and he develops the marketing strategy for a specific market, he really comes in with some tools that allow him to get the most traction based off from the demographics of the market, and what's working based off from the size of the market, whether he's focused more on ads that go directly to individuals versus more branding. He's really got a great package he puts together. And when we kick off our grand opening in each market, it makes a lot of noise.
We've talked with franchisees and we talk about what pushes them over the edge. It's one of two things: the business model and it's the culture. And so if I'm evaluating your culture, I see a guy that's been in the business for over 20 years, who has a name that should have been a professional baseball player or golfer, but you've stayed loyal. And the only way you're going to stay loyal, and I think this is true for most businesses, you're making enough money, you're getting the opportunity that you want, you like your boss, and now in today's world, probably a little bit flexibility from a work from home standpoint. So you've stayed loyal. I would imagine your story is not the only one of someone that's been loyal in the company. Do you feel that culture and business opportunity is part of the magic when you get a candidate in to say yes?
Yeah, 100%. And it also matters for that candidate. Are they going to be a good fit for the culture? We've turned down a lot of people who were very well capitalized, but they just didn't fit the human mold of what we're looking for somebody being a good steward of our brand in the market. They really have to be the people who a good deed is its own return, just like it is here for the people at the home office. That's super important. I mean, when you think about a franchise agreement, you're committing legally to, in our case, a 10-year relationship. You want that to be with somebody you like.
Yeah, that's right. All right, Bobby. So there's someone that's watched this. They're a ghost. They haven't given you their name yet. Anything else you want them to know about the business opportunity?
Gosh, there's so much. I would say the thing that's great to know about Verlo Mattress is we work really well with both the owner operator profile. This is generally somebody who wants to live the life of the general manager. They're doing 1 to 3 locations, either in the suburbs or in a smaller town, because our model works very well in smaller communities. As well as it works well for that manager run operation. Some people call it the executive model. I'm not really a fan of semi-absentee, because you shouldn't be absentee from your business. I don't even want to start that frame of mind. But the manager run model, you're getting somebody who's going to hire that great general manager. They're growing in larger communities, and these people are generally doing that 3 to 7 location footprint. And the reason that we get so many people that are buying multiple units, right now our average is a 4-pack, is because it's a hub and spoke model. That very first location you open has the showroom up front, but it also has the factory in the back where you make the mattresses. After that, you're just opening showroom only locations, which allow you to get to sort of those higher rent locations with a smaller footprint and maximize that factory and your labor model.
That's awesome. Well, Bobby, I think you're one of the good guys in franchising. I appreciate you sharing the story. Again, like I'm banging my head against the wall, not understanding where the organic's coming from. So hopefully this helps jumpstart that too, because this is a interesting business opportunity, and in a sea full of sameness. You guys have certainly figured out a way to stand out. So thanks for sharing your story.
Thanks so much for having me.
For Bobby, I'm Nick. This is another episode of Meet the Zor.